Got a Tuesday trade recap real quick. Uh, so going into the day, we were bullish because we had an SMT with previous day lows, and Q was the stronger pair. So ideally looking for a long there. Um, if we drop down to lower time frames, let's see. Yeah, market open is right here. We manipulated down right there. Um, and then we inverse this 5 minute gap. And so you would expect for the London highs and Asia highs to be swept. Um, but you have to keep in mind that there's an S&T of London high pre-market too. So that's why I didn't really like any of the trades right here. Um, we ended up sweeping London highs and um, yeah, swept Asia highs and then also the New York PM highs above. And like that was all the liquidity right there. So there was no reason for us to really come back up, but we eventually did. So we swept that Asia high, and then we look on the 15 minute, and we are in this big gap. So shorts are now pretty valid. Just want to see some displacement from here, and we got pretty big displacement. So going on 1 minute now. It'll take a minute because I'm doing this pretty late. Um, yeah, right here. So we come down, heavy displacement, right? We inverse these gaps. Um, this inverse play was not bad at all. This gap right here. Um, I'm trying to think why I did not take this. Oh, yeah. Only reason why I didn't take this was because ES was a lot more bearish and we just weren't correlated whatsoever. Uh, and I did expect these lows to be hit, but I was willing to sit out of that. But we had that clean inverse right there, entry right there. Put your take profit down here. Pretty good trade. Um, let's see here. Oh yeah, the other reason why is like this is more of a reversal pattern. I like to trade continuation. So really I like to see this happen and then before we sweep that liquidity, a retrace, and then I would enter off of that retrace to then get to the take profit. Just because it's a higher probability trade like that because reversal patterns, you don't know if it's necessarily going to reverse there. It's a good pattern. But when you know 100% that that reversal happened and that we are reversing, then you find a continuation that is much more higher probability than assuming that a reversal is going to happen. So what we end up doing is we sweep this low, right, on NQ. Um, let's see what range we are in. Yeah. So okay, so we have a little SMT kind of right there. Um, if you look at this, right, we aggressively trade into this imbalance, right? And on the 1 minute, we aggressively right inverse every single gap on this 1 minute time frame. And so the odds are likely that this high will be taken again just because of all these areas where we expect price to be supported was not supported. So after that, we retrace back into this gap, and this is where you would expect to take a long. If this fair value gap was inversed, I would have taken that. Um, Now you're saying, oh yeah, it was right here, but why didn't you take that? Because ES was just bearish. We had two different general liquidities. NQ was bullish and ES was bearish. So no reason to take a 50-50 chance of something actually going in your favor. Because that's exactly what it is. So honestly, it's a less than 50% chance because the setup that you do take isn't a 100% chance, probably like 80% chance. So you're going to have a 40% chance of actually getting a winning trade in that. That is just straight up gambling, and I don't want to take those. So what we ended up doing was ES was perfectly fine. If you were confident that we were bearish, which how could you when NQ was so bullish? This inverse right here would have been pretty valid. And if you didn't want to take that inverse, you can see how we tap back into that gap and immediately rejected down. Now, so you're confident that this low is going to be taken, right? This low is taken. We retrace back up into this gap, and then we get a fat inverse right there. You can enter on that inverse, and then yeah, pretty good draws on liquidity down here. Um, where am I at? But then again, you don't really know that you're bearish until we start supporting and displacing from this gap right here. So even though your entry is right there, you're not sure that we're bearish yet until these wicks into this bearish red eye gap happen, and we got that displacement. So you would have to take a trade down here, which, as you can see, was pretty choppy and just overall bad price action. So I got off the charts there, didn't take any trades, and then uh PM session decided to be fucking perfect. And now just looking at the AM session, right? Pretty bad price action, choppy, high resistance liquidity. Um, when you have that in the AM, you expect PM to be better. And usually, I guess the AMs have been a lot better, and I kind of forgot that fact. That's why I didn't really pay attention to PM. But I really missed out on like a really textbook trade that I'm pretty mad about. It was this right here. Let me just go in the 15 minutes so I can show you a little bit better. But yeah, we swept out previous day lows. We're inside of this high time frame imbalance. And we use an hourly imbalance. And then we start getting displacement back up in the range. Um, yeah, ES is somewhere, but I don't really care right now. Just want to focus on NQ real quick. Oh, look at that V-shaped recovery. Holy shit. Okay. So what do we get? I want to hop on the 5 minute just to show you this price action. So for me to be bullish right here, I would want to see this fair value gap inverse. And um honestly, that's okay, that's not even what I was looking. That's not even the time I was looking at. Okay. For me to be bullish, this fair value gap needs to be inverse. And uh basically I just want to see these highs be taken. So I'll mark it out as my uh first draw. Right, so that's my first draw. Oh my God, I'm gonna mark it the 5 minute fair value gap. I believe we had a 5 minute fair value gap set. We did, yeah. Yeah, so textbook, right? We inverse this big 5 minute gap after sweeping liquidity, and we're inside of a high time frame imbalance we expect to reject from. We get an inverse, right? This is your reversal trade where you kind of not gamble, but this is just a reversal trade. This isn't what I take. Um, and then we retrace back into a 5 minute, and then we get a 1 minute inverse. Like that is exactly what I would look for to trade every single time. That is like the most textbook setup. So just mark it out real quick so it's easy for you to see. Um, right there as we inverse, right? I don't need anything else. Right there. Just because price action was pretty terrible in the morning, you could put it right here, but price action was much, much cleaner in the PM. So if I were to take it, I would probably put it at these lows, and my first TP would have been right here. Um, and yeah, just like that is a just beautiful trade. And this is my mistake, right? I saw this happen. I saw prices clean, right? And I was in the middle of my economics recitation, and I was like, hey, I should trade right now on my phone, which I never do, and I will never do again because basically I took two losses and one win, and both those losses were unnecessary and they would have been wins if I didn't trade on my phone. Um, Let me explain why real quick. Okay, chill out, buddy. All right. So, yeah. So up here is a 15-minute gap that I expect to be filled because on NASDAQ, we have no gaps that oh my God. You gotta scroll so far. As you can see, all these wicks, there's no gaps for us. I checked on the 5 minute, there's no gaps. But on ES, we did have a fat 15-minute fair value gap right there. That's really the only spot I would expect us to actually reject from. Also breaker block right there. So that is kind of where I expected price to at least come up to. So going on to the 1 minute, right? Here, I'm doing it here. Holy shit, so much scrolling. I'm gonna kill myself. Okay, so right here. Now we have this is what I was looking at, right? We came to this big imbalance. I believe it was a 5 minute two. Um I don't want to go back to check because I don't want to scroll through again. Um but yeah, I expect this imbalance to get inverse basically. So I enter right there, stops down here. It's exactly where I put it. And basically my take profits were just until ES took that high. Um, yeah, where am I? Where am I at? Yeah, yeah. So after that close right there, I entered, right? It came all the way down, touched it, but I don't think that would have actually filled the stop loss. It just created equal lows. And this is where it decided to be choppy for some reason. So I entered a trade exactly when it decided to chop, which is just unfortunate, but there's no way you could really see that. Um, but yeah, I wouldn't have gone stop that anyways, but just because I saw it going down pretty fucking fast, I was like, why am I trading on my phone? I'm gonna get out of this trade. I took it out for, almost all entire loss, which is stupid. Just let it hit your stop loss, because it can always go back up, which it did in this scenario. Um, Forgot where I took the second one. I want to say I took it right here and I put my stop. I think I did the same exact thing. Yeah. I put my stop right there and yeah, it touched it right there, so I just got out. So that was like I think it was like down 1,200 or something like that. And then I want to find where it is. It was on NASDAQ. Yeah, so it was on NASDAQ, right? Yeah, I forgot to explain, right? For the first share right here that I entered on, we had this big wick right here, and we had created the SMT. So that's the only reason why we came all the way back down. But I should have been aware of that in the first place. And honestly, if I was in this trade and I saw ES take that high, probably would have gotten break even and gotten broken even. And I'm perfectly fine with that because I'm fine with getting a re-entry because if we come back down and we all inverse this again, I would just enter off of that. Um, but yeah, that's why I took that. And then we have this big old fat imbalance right here, and the draw is definitely still higher. So when this gets inverse of that candle, enter right there. Pretty tight stop loss, put at that wick. Which honestly was pretty dangerous. But yeah, no, I think I put it. Yeah, I put it down here actually. I'm tripping. Which is a lot better stop loss. But yeah, that hit, and everything else is just choppy after. So I entered as soon as it started chopping around. After we had pretty clean price action that I missed out on, and I'm down in the loss today. So that sucks. But um, really, yeah, nothing I can really do about it besides just remembering the fact that when AM sucks, PM is usually better. So when AM sucks, I'll probably hop on around uh like earliest 12:45 just for that 12:50 to 10:10 macro. I mean, 1:10 macro, probably around 1 and just, see how price trades from 1 to 2. And if it's clean, then it's clean. But yeah, that's it for today. Oh yeah, also we had like shitty news today. We had almost nothing. So tomorrow, day before CPI, and also day after bank holiday. Probably why it was so bad. But we have CPI tomorrow. Thursday, we have PPI and Ed Charles, Fed Chair Powell speaks, and then 8:30 news. So Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday should be pretty clean. As long as the weekly objective isn't hit before Friday. But yeah, that's it.